Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. This is a place where I share my insights, and I'm excited to talk about the art of living effortlessly. Now, this one's tough because most of us live according to the logical mind. And this might be my take on how to follow your heart, which to your average person is Pollyanna, naive, stupid, romantic, silly. But that's exactly the secret to living an effortless life. So, if you're interested, stick around and we'll dive in. I often have to remind myself that the heart does not mind. I don't mind. I don't mind not knowing how. Your average person, however, writhes in not knowing how. But we don't know how. That's the thing. We already are living in this, I don't know how I am making the sun shine. I don't know how I'm keeping myself alive. I don't know how I'm making my blood circulate. Of course, your average person doesn't understand that there is no difference between an involuntary action and a voluntary action. Most people would say the circulatory system is involuntary, so we leave that to itself. Or breathing is involuntary, and we pretty much leave that to itself, although sometimes we can get involved in that process. There is a part of you that loves to know how it's going to work. And if you can't see how it's going to work, you don't even try. You don't even go there. You deny yourself the great pleasure of being a visionary. Now, there's also what you would call your heart's desires. These are the things you cannot deny. Things that you would really love to see transpire in your life. You might consider these lofty goals. And people who have lofty goals fly directly into the deadly abyss, which is where the heart does not mind going. That's to these seemingly brink of despair, where your conditions seem to be deteriorating, nothing seems to be working, everything seems to be pushing back against yourself. But the heart skips it. That's what's so weird about it. The heart skips what the eyes see. The eyes do not see how financially it's possible. The eyes do not see how logistically this is going to work. The eyes do not see how the right people will come along and the right opportunities will come along. It just sees impasse. So your logical mind will never see past an impasse. And that's where people stop. They simply just can't do it. There's no schematic. This doesn't seem realistic. Yeah, and that's the language we use. You got to think realistically. You got to play it safe. You have to know how it works. But you don't know how it works. You never have. How are you working the universe? The universe works. That's the way it works. So I'm the universe, so I work. But in the same way, I work to make the stars twinkle. In the same way that I work to make this video. I did not know exactly what I was going to say when I hit record. I had a broad idea, but I didn't script it. I didn't come up with an outline. I let the how-to unfold in the moment. Now, people don't trust that process, however. They don't trust the improvisational nature of the how-to unfolding right before your very eyes. That's because life is a dream that you can't see past the logistics. But that's exactly what I would encourage you to do. So let's say you have some kind of desire, like a relationship, or to get through a financial hardship, or to start a business, or to, I don't know, get a really cool job doing something specifically. And the mind then drops down a drop-down menu. Let's say you want to be a doctor, and you really have that dream. And the mind will drop down a menu, and you'll see the education, the cost, the hours. You'll start researching the hump that you have to get over. And it will just put this big impasse in front of you. And it's like, But you have to go back into your desire and see what it would be like if you got through all that. You'd have to imagine yourself wearing a white coat and talking to your patients and doing research. You have to get past it. You see? And I don't know how you would. You would get past it by going directly through that mountain of paperwork, expense, graduate school applications, the test that you have to take. You see, the mind kind of knows how impossible it is to go into medicine. Because we've heard people who've gone through it, and they tell you how hellish it is and blah, blah, blah. But you still have that vision for doing that. So what do? I think to get through an impasse, you must look past it. You skip it. You absolutely skip it when you're making plans. And you continue to see beyond your hardship, your downturn, your whatever it is the mind says to you, I don't see how this is possible. This doesn't look good. This doesn't look possible. The mind is constantly pushing back on what it sees. But the heart sort of frolics through life. It dances through life mysteriously. I often say the heart doesn't mind. It doesn't mind the mountain in front of it. It doesn't even see it. All it sees is the bright future. In the case of being a doctor, the white coat, the stethoscope, the office, the wonderful friends you'll make, the wonderful patients you'll have, the lives you'll save. So it's way out there. The heart is way out there, way beyond. And when you follow the heart, it's going to take you to what I call the most direct path, which is right into the thicket, right into the darkness, right into where your logistics feel like they're going to fall apart. How are we going to do this? How? The mind will give up. That linear version of you will give up, and you will walk right through the valley of the shadow of death, as it says in the 23rd Psalm. And I shall not fear. You won't fear it if you begin to listen to your heart. Another example, this has happened to me so many times. That's why I enjoy sharing this, because I remember years ago in a situation where I wanted a specific kind of job, and people said, no, you can't get that. Look how late it is in the year. You got to get a job. No. I couldn't see a way. But my heart said, this is what you want. I kept seeing myself. I kept having a vision beyond the deadlines, the people telling me no, my mind saying this won't work. I kept going back in and wondering, is this really what I want? And yes. So my heart had this silly, naive, miraculous desire. But my mind couldn't see how. My ears were being told, no, you can't. That's not going to work. Are you crazy? It's you need a job. My advisors were telling me, you got to get a job. It's late in the year. And lo and behold, through the muck and the mire and the confusion, a connection was made and it all happened. So your mind is going to see setbacks. Your mind is going to see impossibilities. Your mind is going to see impasse, but you have to look past it. That's my only advice to you if you have a dream. Maybe you don't like your current living situation and you would really like to have a different situation. Well, go ahead and get over the how-to and see yourself having gatherings with friends in your new house. See yourself paying your bills effortlessly. See yourself holding hands with your future mate. See yourself with that lean physique. I've said this before too, but for the longest time I kept seeing my body with a six-pack. I kept seeing my body lean, like 15%. I kept seeing that, but my eyes, when I look in the mirror, I had that dad bod. It's like, oh, what? But my mind, my dream, my heart saw something different. It saw a lean physique, young, youthful, athletic. And my mind said, do you know how much working out you have to do? Yeah. So I hired a trainer and I got over it. I went through it, but I got over it because I was always thinking about my vision. So if you stick to your vision, not your how-to, a way will be made known in a mysterious, romantic, playful. The key is to remain enthusiastic about your vision. Not to get discouraged by how is this going to work. And if you're always enthusiastic about the vision, the effortlessness comes with that. You must be naive. You must be trusting. You must always follow the heart. And the best time to do that is in the morning with your journal. If you're struggling with something that looks like it's not working, you must go back to your vision. Is this what you want? Yes. But your eyes are showing you one thing. Your mind your mind will give up on that after a while. Your mind will give up on how we're going to do this. What in the hell? Just continue to plan your vision. Whatever it is you want, continue. Even if it's something silly. I want an airplane right now, so I can share this with you. I'm envisioning myself flying it. Going on trips. I close my eyes because that's how I do these exercises. I'm already taking 4 or 5 trips in my plane. I already know what kind of avionics I want. I know what engine I want. I know what brand I want. I know what year I want. I want a 2022 Cessna Skyline 182 turbo because it has that retro paint scheme. So you have to get into that and then continue to envision. I don't know how I'm going to get over the financial hurdle or how I'm going to get over the other things that seem to be in the way, but I'm always already over it. I'm in the desired outcome and I'm evolving the dream and the visions. So the mind gives up if you continue to honor your heart's childish, true dreams. I'm not talking about petulant cravings. I'm talking about, do you really want this? And if you do, you've got to skip the impasse. You got to skip the logistics. That's hard. It is. But the mind eventually gives up on it. It says in Proverbs, where there's no vision, the people perish. So do you and can you create a vision for it? And does it make you excited to think, okay, I'm going to continue in this living situation. I'm going to continue in this job, or I'm going to leave this job and go do something else where I can see myself having fun and enjoying it. It's all about enjoying it. So the effortless life will allow you to enjoy your life because you're sticking to a vision. Your heart is already over there. That's the thing. I realize my heart is already over it. My mind will follow. You see? So there's a part of you that's already there, already in that timeline, already in that, doing those things. The linear mind is just kind of slow. It will see it happen, and it will stop dragging you down. And that's the effortless life. You do this enough, and you realize, stick to the heart. It knows something the mind will never know. Okay? I hope those things are helpful to you. And this takes some discipline. And stick with my channel, and we'll continue to talk about these wonderful things. Following your heart, going within, and knowing that you don't need to know how to. My name is Ryan Hebert. Please check out my blog. It's called mymorningmotivator.com. And I thank you for your attention.